What are you talking about? You got a problem with my face? Inosuke's snarl snapped you out of your trance. His big steel glass eyes and dense black lashes struck you as far too soft to belong to a barbaric boy who headbutts people for fun. Oh no, I didn't know you were so pretty. Yeah, pretty feral, Zenitsu mumbled under his breath with a pout, the envious brim tinting his tone was potent enough to salt a snail. Uh-huh. You and your fake hair got something to say to me? I already told you, it's natural. I don't care what color it is. It won't stop me from tearing it out. And with that, chase began. Tanjiro let out an exhausted sigh as the two capcerous boys ran laps around the little square dinner table. Stop running and fight me like a man! This time Zenitsu was abruptly ducked behind you, gripping back onto the back of your yakuta. Vinchan, make him stop. If you think I won't hit a girl to get you, you're wrong, Mitsudo. Inosuke! Tanjiro's voice ran rush in chaos. Don't you dare! The blonde shrieked in disdain, wrapping his arms around your neck, a face-like protection manner. Don't worry, Vinchan. I won't let him hurt you. Despite Inosuke's threats, he actually halted in his place. I bet she can't take a punch harder than you wussy sunflower. The positive edge in Inosuke's voice made Tanjiro stand up to intervene, but you already held up your hand. It's okay, Inosuke. He didn't mean it by that. He, was just trying to tell you how robust and skilled you are in wilderness you are. Right, Zenitsu? You shot him a significant glare over your shoulder, and he nodded. Oh, why didn't you say so? The boy instantly plopped into his butt and resumed gratefully, dousing the fire of aggressiveness faster than Tanjiro's elegant water swordsmanship. The remaining three of you exchanged glances over the abrupt mood change. Brute. This time Zenitsu made sure to mutter his comment quiet enough for your ears only. His grip loosened, and he instead hooked his arms around you affectionately, dropping his head onto your shoulder and rubbing it with his cheek. You're so charming, Vinchan. You came tame even the wildest beasts with your musical voice, just like princesses in fairy tales. You bit back a snort, knowing the animal he was referring to was Inosuke. You simply have to marry me. Enough of this, Zenitsu. She's not interested. You were surprised at the first and they erupted out of Tanjiro, but you figured even he had a limit to his patience. This is none of your business, Tanjiro, so stay out of it. The dark-haired male definitely twitched. Zenitsu's voice instantly turned back into melted sugar when he addressed you again. You will marry me, won't you? He batted his eyelashes in the most alluring way he could manage. His very best attempt to win you over. Can you pay a dowry? No, not right now, but Then that's your answer. You shrugged and Tanjiro snickered. That was easily the most logical and unabased refusal he'll ever heard in his life. Since he must have felt the same, if the perplexed way he blinked at you was any indication. Rejected. Inosuke threw his head back with laughing. That's enough out of you. Zenitsu snapped before letting out a pointed humph. He pursued smug in defeat as he returned to the meal. The only thing you could think to do was to cheer his down drums with a shove food in his mouth in consideration. So that's what you did. His eyes opened wide. Look of surprise made you giggle. which turn which you turned to Zenitsu's, which in turn made Zenitsu blush. It was now you caught Tanjiro smiling warmly across the table at you. It was in moments like these where he felt less guilty about inflectuating his unrespectable companionship on you, as you seemed to handle them just fine. You even did it politely throughfully, without hurting others' decent egos. But this was just one of the reasons he was growing fond of you. If you get cold, come back to me, and I'll keep you warm. Zenitsu cooed as you bid the boys goodnight. Dial it back down a bit. Tanjiro started flatly, draping his hori over your shoulders to prepare you for the short walk outside. You're the reason she's staying in the other room in the first place. The blonde gasped in acceleration as he muffled a laugh. The night prior, Zenitsu had accidentally stumbled into your bed during his slumbers, seeking warmth and cuddles. The humorous thing by his boresome snoring, he didn't make a peep while squashed against you, save for a few content little sighs. However, while the little noise level was peaceful, your oxygen levels were quite restricted, as he'd somehow found a way to wrap himself around you like a boba bupa constrictor. That is how Tanjiro found you the next morning. But she didn't mind it, right? Right, Finchan? You almost suffocated her. Tanjiro assumed his big brother role. She's staying across the way until you can learn to keep your hands to yourself. You felt a light pressure on his palms on your shoulders, a hint that it was time for you to get moving. You obeyed, and Zenitsu let out a whine. Sweet dreams, Finchan, he called out to you, and you waved back to them. Once the door to their room had been closed, he pouted. Oh, you're so cruel, Tanjiro. Hearts can die of loneliness, you know. You'd have died ages ago. Shut up, pig face. Finally, he slumped into his futon, paralleled with Inosuke. It was quiet for a bit before he noticed the third boy had yet to lie down. What's wrong, Tanjiro? He blinked out of his thoughts. Oh, nothing. I was just remembering what was said at dinner. What about it? I guess I'm just wondering if a dory is really necessary. Keep talking, Tanjiro. I mean, don't you think so? He turned towards the illegitimate blonde. There are far more important things than money, like how faithful and protective a man can be, or how he'll father his children. If you think about it, none of us have any real stability to offer her. He stared up at the ceiling, but I, for one, think love and loyalty are less fleeting than money. So I could assure her family she'd be rich in those. You're right. Money's not everything, Inosuke said, arguing with him for once. Snitch, snitch. Huh? What are you doing, Zenitsu? That's good stuff. Keep going. Tanjiro noted the parchment and writing utensil in Zenitsu's hands, and his jaw hit the ground. Huh? Don't write that down. I said it. You can't use it. But Tanjiro, he whined, trying to keep the drawing aboard, but out of grasp. It's not my fault you're better at this. I get nervous around girls, you know. My heart starts fluttering, my words get all jumped up. I need the help I can get, okay? All right. All right. That the truth, Inosuke mumbled. I heard that. Zenitsu lost the upper hand, responding to the slight, and wound up with the other boy's palm flat against his face. Tanjiro was able to pin him and rip the object from his hands. Can I please have that back? I need to know more, you know? What? Why is that? Because she accepted my proposal today. No, she didn't. Yes, she said if I pay the dory, she'd agree. Zenitsu, she's just being polite. No way. Once I get money, she's all mine. He blushed in delight and pulled his pillow into a tight hug. Tanjiro couldn't help but roll his eyes, a strange sort of mirror image on the blonde boy rolling over the floor, tangling himself in the blanket. Inchan is so cute. You think all girls are cute, Inosuke interjected, and Zenitsu looked up. They are, aren't they? I've never seen the heavens create a bad one. There are plenty of ugly demon girls. They're demons, though. That's different. What about Nezuko? Tanjiro asked. Well, she'd never hurt a human, so I don't even really think of her as one of them, he stated in a matter-of-fact way, and Tanjiro couldn't help but beam at him, looking deeply touched by his words. Oh, come off it, Inosuke threw a pillow in his direction. You thought our host was a monster. Have you seriously never seen an old woman before? Well, no. People who live in my city are mostly young. To be honest, I hardly remember much before I eloped and got stuck with all that debt. Right after that, Gramps got me out of it and took me way out of the wilderness to train where it was just him and a student like me. Did you say elope? What does that word mean? Inosuke snatched his head. Wait, that's right. I never caught that before. You were saying you've been married before, Zenitsu? Shh, not so loud, Tanjiro. It's kind of embarrassing. Huh? So you have experience with girls? Both of the dark-haired boys leaned at Inosuke's conclusion, a glint burning constantly in their stare. Is that what you're telling us? Experience? Well, yeah, I guess. I got pretty good at it. The blonde scratched the back of his neck sleepishly, and the other's eyes widened. Whoa, way to go, Mitsuo. Inosuke pumped his fist in the air. Hold on. Tanjiro held up a hand and narrowed his eyes specifically. When you say it, like tying an obi, sure, I've had loads of practice. Plop. Idiot. Inosuke flopped on his back with a grunt, and Tanjiro sighed in disappointment. Thought so.